Welcome back to r/legaladvice, where people ask questions, get advice, and we get satisfaction. If you are new around here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, "Just found out that a warehouse is being built on land that I own. I was never told about it and didn't sell my land to anyone." I own property in North Carolina. It is a piece of land on the outskirts of a town/small city that is slowly expanding. It used to be farmland and there was an old house of little value. I live out of state and have not visited the place in 8 years. No one has been living in the house for the last 18 months. After all this time, I just went to have a look at my property. I was in for quite a shock as I arrived where my house used to be. The house has been torn down and there is a construction crew working all over my lot. They said they are building a warehouse and offices. There is a huge hole in the ground. As I was there were 2 excavators digging further into my land. A small hill was also flattened. I couldn't believe it because I've not been told about my land being used for construction ever. I have not sold my land or the house. I've never been called by anyone seeking to buy it. As I was driving there, I noticed that the city has expanded and there are now buildings much closer to my land than ever before. But I had no idea that my own land was being used for development. This is so crazy. I cannot believe I'm even typing this. I have paid the property tax on this lot every year. It is my name on the title. I am livid. My land was taken from me without anyone telling me about it. I want to make the construction crew stop working on my property immediately, and then I want someone explain me how this could happen, and of course get appropriate compensation from whoever is responsible. Where do I start? How do I make them stop? I tried talking to the workers, but they wouldn't listen. Edit, I get it, I'm getting a lawyer. Edit number 2, and now the GIS website says it is no longer under my name. This is so effed up, I have no words. I've paid the taxes every year. How does this even happen? How do they send me taxes for property they don't think I own? And a wise user in the comments said, first thing to do is go to the county tax record and GIS lookup. This should allow you to find your piece of property on the GIS map and make sure it is still under your name. Also, do the same for the county's property tax system and make sure there are no recorded sales or title changes. If you find a title change, then you need a lawyer immediately, as someone would likely have used a forged title/quitclaim deed etc. to transfer the property, and you will want to get in front of that ASAP. If it is still in your name, someone has royally screwed up and you will likely still want a lawyer, as they will be responsible for restoring your property to how it was, including replacing the home that was destroyed. Obviously, it will be a new home now that it is completely removed. Assuming the title/taxes etc. all show in your name still, then print out all of your documents, any surveys you have etc., make copies and don't take originals, and go to the job site and call the police. Provide them with all of this information and cite the construction crew with trespassing to stop any further damage from occurring to your property. Post no trespassing signs along the border of your property and take reasonable steps to secure it. This will get the developer's attention quickly and you could very likely be offered a sum to secure the property. Update to the story. So many people were asking for an update and here it is. I retained a lawyer and they started investigating. As some of you had said, there was a problem with the taxes followed by a series of screw-ups by various people and services. My lawyer advises me not to go into further detail, so I won't. The whole situation looks like a cluster F of massive proportions in their opinion, and they have not even gotten to the bottom of it in any way. Looks like getting compensated is going to be a long and frustrating process. Now I am heading back to Michigan and letting my lawyer do their job there. Anyway, thanks for everyone's advice. I was a bit shocked and not seeing things clearly, so it helped. Final update to the story. Hi legal advice, people asked, so here I am providing an update about what happened to me about a year ago when a warehouse was under construction on land that I owned without me being aware. That is when I realized that the land was no longer under my name, but I had not sold it. It took about a whole year to my lawyer to understand what happened and find a solution that would best serve my interests. What happened can be described as a succession of screw-ups and negligence by various county services and people who had an interest in not looking too closely into the matter. It was a matter of incompetence and negligence rather than illegal action, it seems, still very frustrating for me. I cannot go into too much detail as it could be enough to identify in which county I am. The first problem was that the taxes I paid for that piece of land were applied to another parcel that a family member owns. As a result, the property tax on my parcel appeared delinquent. I was never made aware of this because the, apparently, only delinquent notice that was sent was addressed to my elderly uncle who used to live on the premises and had passed away a few months before. This is infuriating because the taxes were sent to me in Michigan, so they knew where to find me. But the delinquent notice was sent to a different address due to miscommunication between two services. The fact that my uncle and I have similar names, like I am Michael John Doe and he was John Doe, likely added to the confusion. As a consequence of the unpaid taxes, my land was foreclosed and sold. The processes were expedited and minimal effort was put into trying to reach me. There were other things that happened which were not really illegal, more like neglectful, but I won't describe them here on the advice of my lawyer. Apparently at some point some procedure was not completely respected and I could have had an argument to sue and win, but my attorney told me to prepare for an uphill battle though, and one that would have been long and costly. In the meantime, my attorney communicated with the company that was having the buildings constructed. They decided to pause the construction to evaluate the situation. Then they restarted and then stopped again. Probably they were advised that we had grounds to sue and the proceedings could last forever. There didn't appear to be any mistake or illegality from their side, but likely they didn't want to waste any time on that. So, after negotiating with my attorney, they made an offer that I accepted in exchange for me not to claim my land back. I might have gotten more from suing everyone, but I wasn't ready for years of legal battle. I'm bitter that land that belonged to my family for over a century was taken from me like that. However, in the end I was compensated fairly and rather easily, so I cannot really complain. And you know guys, something that came to my mind in regards to land and owning land. Where I am from in Europe, originally I am from a pretty small town, and basically the richest people in that town are all the farmers who own every piece of land around the city because they have essentially lived there for like 300 or 400 years. And now I am wondering, is that the same case where you are from? Are the farmers some of the richest people because they own so much land? Let us know how it is where you are from in the comments. In addition, please let me know if you still enjoy r/legal advice because this story was from Legal Advice. Thank you very much in advance. And the next one is another legal advice story, however this time from r/legal advice UK. I recently ordered a high value item, which I guess is around $1,300 from Amazon, which was protected by a one-time password. On the day of delivery, the driver rang me asking for directions, not uncommon as people sometimes have difficulties locating our property, and while I was on the phone to him, he informed me he had a parcel which required a password and he asked me for the password. I gave it to him and he said he will be with me shortly. He turned up around 10 minutes later and handed me a bunch of parcels. I had placed multiple orders, but most were low value items. Turns out every single order was delivered except for the high value item. Amazon are claiming it was delivered using a one-time password and therefore they will take no further action on the matter. They asked me to make a police report, which I did, all in good faith, and after being batted back and forth between police advisors claiming it was Amazon's responsibility, not mine, I did eventually get an officer to send me an email with a reference number, which I then passed on to Amazon and they still Again, sent back the same copy-pasted response telling me that the tracking shows it was delivered with a one-time password and therefore they will take no further action on the matter. I spoke to multiple advisors on the phone who seemed to understand that in my unique situation there was grounds for an investigation, but they informed me that their system did not let them escalate to the internal team on the grounds that it was an OTP secure delivery and therefore there was nothing they could do. So they are basically letting the driver run off with my parcel and leaving me £1,100 short, with no investigation whatsoever. I believe it was my mistake to give the driver the OTP over the phone, but he asked for it and it was him I was supposed to give it to, so I trusted him to deliver. Biggest mistake of my life, you cannot trust anyone these days. And a user in the comments said, I worked as a delivery driver for Amazon, did the driver scan all the parcels at the door? The sequence goes, delivery comes up on the app and you drive to it. Scan parcels to start that stop/delivery. This then takes you to the next page, which should have come up with the OTP screen. Enter the OTP, swipe to finish that stop/delivery. When you scan a parcel, it should create a geotag at that point, and when they swipe to finish, that's locked in and cannot change. Ask them for their geotag location. If the driver entered the code in his van and not at your door, then there should be a discrepancy in locations. Also ask them how many deliveries your order came as, because sometimes the app would split them up. For example, if you ordered 5 parcels, the app might have split it up as delivery 5 parcels to 2 locations, when actually it is just 1 location and these would come up as separate. If it was split up, then again, there might be a discrepancy in where the different orders were scanned. One might be done at the door and the other in the van. That would look fishy. I can try and answer any other questions if you need. And guys, have you ever had any issues with deliveries, especially from Amazon? I gotta say, at least for me personally, I've never had any issues with Amazon, even though I know that many of you in the comments are usually critical of Amazon for often very valid reasons. Let us know your experiences in the comments. And by the way, one thing that always fascinates me here in Thailand, at least when you live in the smaller cities, let's say you're getting a parcel on Monday and you don't really want to wait for it, you can check on the phone or call the delivery driver for the parcel, aka the postman, then drive to the location where he currently is and essentially get your package before he even arrived at your house. The first time my girlfriend did this with me, I was completely speechless. That would be absolutely impossible in my home country. But anyway, let's continue with the stories. And the next one is an update to the Amazon story. It is titled, Jeff Bezos read my email, my missing Amazon parcel was finally investigated. For those who read my last post on here, which attracted over 1000 upvotes and lots of helpful responses, thank you all. After getting absolutely nowhere with customer services, I decided to email Jeff Bezos directly. A few days later, I received the following response. Dear Max, my name is Keisha and I'm with Amazon Executive Customer Relations. Jeff Bezos has received your correspondence and I'm responding on their behalf. I am very sorry to hear of your delivery experience related to order XYZ. One-time passwords are supposed to be requested at the time of delivery in the presence of the customer, and I'm sorry that wasn't the case here. Please be assured that from an Amazon perspective it is completely unacceptable for a driver to act in this manner. This individual driver failed to meet the high service standard we set for our customers. The details of this incident have been passed on to senior management at the carrier, who will fully investigate the driver's behavior. I ask for your patience while we investigate this issue. I will reach out by Monday, 30th August 2021 via email with an update. If you got any further questions or concerns, please feel free to reply to this email. And then, about an hour ago today, I received a phone call from the same Keisha Williams. And I've just received the following email as a follow-up to the call. Hello Max, this is Keisha of Amazon Executive Customer Relations. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I have requested a refund of £1,100 to your original payment method. Once your refund has been completed by us, please allow your bank between 3 to 5 business days to process it. Also, as an apology for the poor experience and as a gesture of goodwill, I've issued a £100 gift card to your Amazon account. Thank you for being a valued member of our Prime family. We look forward to serving you again and serving you better next time. So I've got a full refund, a £100 gift card extra as an apology, and Keisha also informed me during the phone call that she'll be following up with the call center staff and they are going to receive further training and escalation methods to ensure this is not repeated. And the last one is a pretty insane legal advice story, and it is titled "Stuck in a Restaurant and They Will Not Let Me Leave." I am at dinner with my SO and we've been here a while. Dinner took an hour to get here, food was subpar, and as I was going to pay, the computers crashed and no payments could be made. They have held me for an additional hour and a half and people are getting angry. I am angry and very upset. People have threatened to call the cops. The manager has said that they would only keep us on the premises as we would be stealing if we left. What should I do? What can I do? I don't have enough cash to cover the bill. Update: the manager was physically barring the door and preventing people from leaving. He denied new parties from entering and denied his existing patrons from leaving. Sometimes physically shoving some people and shouting rude things at others who were videotaping on their phones. Kids were present too, which is just kind of douchey. I asked for a way for them to take my information and they said it was not in my interest as it could lead to credit card theft. Maybe learn to be a responsible business? I called the cops and they arrived and talked to the manager first. He was stating how we, the patrons, were wanting to leave and trying to steal from him, that we were antagonizing him and that he wanted to press charges on all of us. The manager was then put aside and the cops talked to us, the patrons. We told them what happened and some of the other parties showed video of what was happening. The cops called back up and then arrested the manager for illegal detainment. The cops then asked us if we wanted to sign a paper if we would be willing to press charges. Most of us elected to do so. After that, contact info was collected, some videos were copied and we were free to go. There were around 13 parties of us affected by this, probably 50 or so people, not including his staff. For those wondering about the location, it was a major restaurant chain in Central Florida. Update number 2, I have a meeting at a law firm Monday afternoon. Several people have asked me to put the name of the company back on this post. If the law firm says it is okay to, along with the location, I will. I will inquire about videos as well and link if that is an option. As far as reporting to local news, I would rather not. The idea of being harassed by people, law firms and media is terrifying. I would rather that not be an issue. If someone else wants to take the limelight, go ahead. I don't want it. Update number 3, I talked with the law firm on Monday and there are a few other parties using this service as well. The lawyers have advised me from putting any more info out on the web. Companies when presented with a lawsuit get really nitpicky with content to try and launch a counter-sue. When they do that, they will contact the law firm and try to settle it out of court to have mercy on the afflicted parties. So I'll not be releasing the name of the company or a location anymore specifically to prevent a defamation lawsuit, which can still happen even if I'm being truthful, but I just forgot something. See, nitpicky above. As of now, everything is going great and we will be filing soon. We'll update when the case is said and done with the outcome. Thank you all so much for the help, you guys are the best. Edit made the update more detailed as per request. Final update, I still receive a lot of PMs asking about the outcome of this. Here is what I can say. Myself and the other parties went to court. I cannot tell you the name of the establishment or the firm representing us, but I can say that it went very well for us. I cannot divulge any specifics of the case either though. We had a final verdict exactly 3 weeks ago. Thank you everyone for your help and support. It was a pretty crazy experience, but it did turn out for the better. Once again, thank you. And I gotta say guys, even though the update is not the most satisfying one in the universe, I just had to read this story simply because it was so bizarre. Who would have guessed that you can essentially be held hostage in a restaurant just because you don't have any cash and the electronic payment systems are offline? Maybe keep that in mind next time you go to a restaurant with a crazy owner. And you know guys, speaking of crazy owners, back when I was living in the north of Thailand, I really enjoyed going to a little French bistro in the morning for breakfast. However, it was well known in the city that the owner/cook was kind of a maniac, and he once even threatened a customer with a katana, if that is how you pronounce it. However, I did not really care because the food was absolutely amazing and I love baguettes. And guys, unfortunately we have already reached the end of the video. However, this is not the end of ripe content for you. I would highly suggest to check out my endless binge watch playlist, which will hopefully soon show up on the left corner of the screen, which will provide you with hundreds if not thousands of hours of ripe content. If you still haven't gotten enough, then please also check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ripeyoutube for more than 50 exclusive Reddit videos that you will only find on there. Furthermore, if you want to share your own story with our community, then please head on over to r/ripestories on Reddit, where you can share your own stories and there is a good chance that I might read it in a video. Thank you so much for your daily support and I hope to see you again tomorrow.